Live from Brooklyn, New York, this is Stay Busy with Armon Sadler.
Well, you know that I'm the guy. I'm out here living life. I'm busy. Stay busy. Stay busy. Stay busy. Making moves and catching flights. So please don't waste my time. I'm busy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Stay Busy with Armon Sadler, where we have responsible discussions on the entertainment business and the entertainment culture. I am your host, head honcho, vegan chorizo papi, founder of B&B, otherwise known as the Bald Nigga Bombshell, who is in the Need to Know Studios, which you should book and say that I referred you so the boy gets a discount. It's hard out here. Recession indicators are all over, so I will take any discounts that I can, but I'm also known as Chinedu, and the only man to sit in front of Taylor Rooks and not tell a lie. Thank you so much for tuning back in. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and your favorite audio platform. Leave a like, a comment, share with a friend, tag us on social media, let us know that you're listening. All that good stuff. It means a lot to the show. And if you want some bonus extra content or early access to episodes, subscribe at patreon.com/staybusypod. I want to thank everyone who gave me flowers for the solo episode last week. Again, it wasn't my first time doing it. And it's not, it's not as scary as some people might make it seem. I've had conversations with people where they're like, yo, I could never do a pod without a co-host. Like talking to myself for an hour or so is crazy. And I got going, and little did I know, damn near 2 hours passed last week, and there was a lot to talk about, and I filled it with fun segments, Duolingo, all that, and those will be coming. If I have to be here solo again and postpone because of a guest, kind of like today, but salute to them, much love to them and what they're dealing with. I will have more fun stuff for you, like today. Before we get to the fun stuff, my good manager, producer, pal, brother Kieran did remind me, part of why this episode is going to be very different is just because, like, in terms of pop culture, there's not like too much going on. And as I say that, and as I am a journalist who does news writing, there are a couple things that do come to mind. But Kendrick Lamar dropped the Luther video with SZA this past weekend. And one, it was a surprise drop, which has been his bag really since. He's always kind of done these surprise type things. Like, I do give credit to TDE and Kendrick for not having people in their circle who are chatty patties. So the Luther video dropped. The big discussion surrounding that was the fact that Karina Evans, I believe you pronounce it, Karina, I want to say, she directed the video. And it was in black and white. If you don't know who Karina Evans is, she directed the God's Plan video, the I'm Upset video, the Nice for What video. She did one more for Drake that year too. It's escaping me right now. But a lot of people were like, damn, like, so instead of, kind of focusing on yourself and doing your thing, you're continuing to do these little petty things to get at Drake. And my initial thought when I saw Karina Evans directed the video was, I laughed too. I was like, damn, wow, like you really are continuing to do this. Like, fortunately the video itself didn't really have any shots, but it definitely is interesting that he's working with Karina Evans now. In 2018, she directed videos for J-Rock. She has directed videos for SZA in the past, and Kendrick doesn't choose to work with her until now. It's interesting. I'm not going to stand with crazy conviction on the hill that like, oh, he's doing that just to get at Drake. But the timing of it, you do kind of have to give it a thought. Video itself shot well, like, visually it looked cool. It wasn't really much. It was just a kind of romantic. It was in black and white. Like, I saw these Twitter threads trying to describe the symbolism and all this stuff. I didn't really get that from the video. But similarly, when I watched Nokia, I didn't get anything from it at first because I didn't engage with it in that way where I was looking for symbolism. I was literally just watching the video to get a gauge of it. Will I revisit the Luther video to give as much of a breakdown? If I get assigned it for work, maybe I will. But as of now, I just say, yeah, it looked really cool visually. And it's making this race for number one the number one song on the Hot 100 chart. Very interesting. Nokia's creeping up. It is officially number 2 now. Luther's still holding strong at number 1. Uh, as I said last week, and as the culture is kind of accepted, like Nokia is trending in that direction where it could go number 1. So we'll see. I really don't want to spend too much time on that. Some other things within pop culture. We actually didn't get to talk about this because we were on break when it happened. But in December, Jay-Z was added to a lawsuit, a rape lawsuit with Diddy. And the story was after the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000, I want to say, apparently one of Hove's drivers pulled up on this girl, drove her to a party in New Jersey, and that is where she was taken advantage of by allegedly Jay-Z and Diddy. I think I don't I mean, I don't want to say I don't care about that happening because that is a very fucked up thing. But for me, the conversation surrounding that got very nasty because Hove is a lot of people's GOAT. I acknowledge that. I accept that. I do think that he is up there in terms of greatest rappers of all time. But there were so many people who immediately rushed to disbelieve the story because they love Jay-Z that much. Like there was some really nasty kind of just, oh, absolutely not. This is a money grab. It's similar to what some people said when Cassie came forward with her lawsuit. And I think, immediately calling things money grabs and discrediting women's stories is a very fucked up thing. It's also fucked up that there are situations where women come forward with stories that are not true. So you kind of have to treat everything case by case. For me, I need evidence before I, jump on, oh, this person's guilty, this person's innocent. Like something has to be proven to me. So I didn't stand on any side. I wasn't surprised that it happened because the Diddy case, the ongoing thing, his trial is next month, has sent such shockwaves through the culture. It's created this witch hunt. Like 50 Cent for months was saying, yo, Jay-Z, you quiet, you hiding, like, what's up with you? So it didn't surprise me. And, the other thing that was really funny about that situation was, I believe one of his lawyers said, oh, Jay-Z and Diddy were not that close. They weren't friends. They were just business partners. Now, y'all basically came up together. Y'all both were very closely tied to Biggie. We've seen endless pictures at Rock Nation brunches. We've seen the way you guys talk about each other. Like, I understand trying to distance yourself from that now, especially when, there's potential litigation coming up. But I think that bar being used saying like Jay-Z and Diddy weren't that close was pretty crazy. But yeah, my biggest issue was just people immediately discrediting the story because they love Jay-Z that much. And I think it is very insensitive to women. Now, ultimately, the women's accusations and allegations started to look crazy really fast. She went on national TV and told a different story than what was in her lawsuit. She was represented by Tony Busby, who, his credentials came into question. And Jay-Z was so like aggressively attacking Tony Busby with each statement he put out that it's made him seem like he was defensive. But ultimately, Tony Busby's looking a little crazy in the light. So that lawsuit was dismissed. There was another lawsuit that Jay-Z, Beyonce, LeBron James were named in. That alleged victim of assault recently removed Jay-Z and Beyonce's names from the lawsuit. So it's really crazy times. And it's like I think it's good that we are being vigilant within the culture and within the industry and trying to, weed out people who have done fucked up stuff. But I think the whole witch hunt of it all, trying to identify every single guilty person, it almost like devalues the fact that like there's like one guy, Diddy, right now who just has so many different allegations against him. Like I don't want to say it's like taking attention away, but it just, I don't know, it feels like people just become like public judge and jury and want to, seek out every single person. And sometimes they reach with the things that they're calling out. And so obviously Diddy is on the road to getting to go onto trial and getting the potential punishment that he will get. More things are coming out. Kevin Liles is going through his own stuff right now. Russell Simmons has been, going through his legal stuff for years. But I just think that when it comes to situations like these, fandom really has to like take a back seat. And I say that as someone who, obviously, for the last year, I don't want to stay on it too long, but the whole Drake pedophilia thing for me, and anyone who has spoken to me about this knows that this was my stance. If these things are happening, I ultimately need to see like real proof of that, and then yeah, it's fuck them. Like it's that easy. Like there's no one's music that I need that much to where I'm gonna overlook really fucked up, character things. Like it was easy to stop listening to R. Kelly. There was like when I was younger and the Chris Brown stuff happened, like it was pretty easy to kind of step away from that. Tory Lanez, I really don't listen to him anymore. Like it's easy when a certain thing is done to a certain level to where like nah, like there it reaches a certain point where there's no separating the art from the artist for me. And with Jay-Z, I just think people have, some of them look at him like he's their dad. Like it's just a very what's the word I'm looking for? Sycophantish, parasocial type relationship that people have to where someone's innocence or guilt really impacts them. And I get it from a fan perspective, being disappointed, but kind of like immediately disbelieving something just because you like someone that much. You want to believe the best of them, but again, this is not your friend. This is not someone that you know personally and know their character. Like this is just someone whose music you've been listening to for several years. So that's it. I kind of just wish everyone was in a wait and see type of mindset rather than a nah, like it's impossible. This guy I love would never do it. But again, the very conflicting reality is there have been situations where people have come forward with false stories. So case by case thing. Lastly, John Morant, man, he is back as the topic of discussion. Couple weeks ago, he got fined for doing a finger gun gesture. I actually wrote an article about it like several months ago, like the origin of his finger gun gesture. But the NBA didn't like it, so they fined him for it, and so he's found a new celebration where after he makes a 3-pointer, he acts like he's putting a grenade to his mouth. He takes the pin out of the grenade, he throws it into the crowd, and then he covers his ears. And people have been loving it. Like it's going viral. I already saw a football player use it, and Ja had a really, I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty damn good explanation for it that removes the element of violence and weapons that has, made him controversial over the years. He says like, I take the words from my mouth, I throw them out to people, and then I cover my ears. I know I didn't quote that verbatim, but like considering the motion and like it, it would probably be convincing to someone who's like really gullible. Like I think the whole world kind of understands what he's really doing, and the fact that he's so like, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna just do it after everything that he's been going through is a lot of people respect it. I think Ja is just incredibly talented, and I don't want his kind of him being himself without apologies, without any shame. I don't want that to hinder what has been a pretty good NBA career so far, and he could, be one of the next guys to really step up. When he's on the court, he's a dog. He's an incredible basketball player. He's coming off of last year. He served the 25-game ban. His first game back, he put up like 34, had a game winner. Then he had to get shoulder surgery, so he missed most of last season. Now he's back. The Grizzlies are in the play-in. They have a chance to make the playoffs. But I don't want his character and his behavior to hold him back. I myself have been very critical of him. We did a whole episode about that, and I'm definitely going to continue being critical of his character, especially if it is a detriment to the career that he has. We've seen a lot of careers ultimately not reach the point that they could reach due to the way people act. So, but I will say his celebration, as bold as it is, it's pretty damn good. So salute to Ja for that. That is all I got on the chat lunch break thing. So This episode is literally for the listeners. This will be the, and I don't want to say the last episode before I go away. I'm not even going to be away long. But I'm going to LA at the end of this week, feeling really good about that. I'm going to go see my people, go watch WrestleMania with them. And again, we were supposed to have a guest, but things kind of fell through. So I opened up the hot take question hotline for the first time in a long time. I don't think we've done hot takes or questions in a couple seasons. I know I wanted to do it when we first brought back this season, but our first episode was so long that I didn't have time to like say all of them. So the hot take question hotline is open, and I'm looking forward to seeing what craziness you all said. So this segment is called For All the Listeners, and this segment will be curated and created by all of you. So I can't wait to get into it. So let's go to the first one. You guys gave me a lot. I really appreciate that. So let's see. First one. This comes from Flo. Flo is a member of the RNC Discord. He's also a member of my online college franchise league called UTL with so many names, but like UTL guys know who they are. So shout out to them. Flo's question is, and also this is going to be a drinking game. So based on the take, I don't know if I can do it with a question, but based on the take, if I agree with the take, I don't drink. If I disagree, then I'll drink. So Flo's question is, did Melo have a better career as a player in Denver or on the Knicks? That is a really good question. I think the tough part about answering that is you really have to go off of team success, but for some people, team success is only winning a ring. With the Nuggets, he made the Western Conference Finals, ultimately lost. That with the Knicks, I don't think they ever made a conference finals. They maybe hit the second round like once or twice. But on both teams, he made all-star games. I believe he was a scoring champion when he was on the Knicks. Never won an MVP. So I don't know. That's a really tough question. I think the Nuggets kind of hit a peak and then things got tough over there. But the Knicks, when he was there, consistently good, consistently in the playoffs. And then, he had his later years where he had to go. So I think maybe just based off of his maturity and his development, I would say he was better on the Knicks, but the Denver Nuggets did get further. But he also had a team with Allen Iverson and a bunch of dogs that were on that team. So I don't want to, discredit them. Next, my boy Xavier, from What You Expect, he has a hot take. He says, Jey Uso is turning heel by joining The Rock. I have a Jey Uso interview coming out this week, and this part isn't in the interview, but when we did talk, he said, as much as he enjoys being a super over babyface right now, and he knows he's like, among the cream of the crop in the WWE, he is already thinking about his heel turn. I didn't ask him that because I really hate, there's a couple things I really hate about when people interview wrestlers. Don't ask them about face turns and heel turns. That's like a booking thing. That's a creative thing. Like, I mean, sure, they might be able to speak on it, but it's just weird because it's not really up to their control. Like, they're kind of told what they're going to do. So I don't know. It just feels like a futile question for me. But Jay volunteered it to me, so shout out to him. I do not think that he will turn heel and join The Rock. I think there are a couple potential candidates for that. I mean, the biggest thing for me is like The Rock has been gone since Elimination Chamber, which I like, but this whole sell your soul type thing, it seemed like he was, making a new corporation or whatever. Like, I'm sure we'll get more of it after WrestleMania is up, but yeah, I don't even know if there's necessarily a continuation of that coming. I think he will be at WrestleMania, but Jay has been so over as a babyface for the last 2 years. I mean, Triple H does like to shock you, so maybe he gives us a heartbreaking heel turn when Jay becomes champion. I really doubt it. I think he's only getting more popular, and I think you kind of ride that out until it maybe starts to get stale. Because that also kind of makes heel turns feel better too, when like you kind of get used to how popular someone is. Because Jay, like, man, when he first, debuted the theme song with the arm waves, and then, when he's at a point where, like, at War Games 2023, he's standing on top of the cage doing it, and then he starts entering, the arena through the crowd, and then the last couple months where he comes out and they play the theme song through, and then they stop it and then they start it over again. And like he's only growing in popularity. Obviously, all the times he's linked up with rappers, Travis Scott, Quavo. Like I every time I think, all right, there's no way Jay can get more over. He gets more over. So I do not think that he's going to turn heel and join The Rock. And because of that, I'm gonna take a sip of this lovely tall boy White Claw, Ruby Grapefruit. It's grown to be one of my favorite flavors. I don't know if I've talked about favorite White Claw flavors here. My favorite used to be watermelon, and I don't want that to sound stereotypical. But now it's peach. Peach is absolutely the best White Claw flavor. So get you a peach one, but Ruby Grapefruit is good too. All right, next hot take. This one I'm going to go to Twitter for. This one comes from my boy Caleb. He's also a member of the RNC Discord, and he says, G-Eazy brings down every collab he does. It's an amazing intro chorus, and then whatever the hell he does. He's consistently the worst part of the songs. I have not even listened to enough G-Eazy songs in my lifetime to agree or disagree. I know that one song he had with I want to say Cardi B and A$AP Rocky in like 2017. Let's look up the title of that. G-Eazy Cardi B. No limit. Yeah. Actually, oh yeah, Rocky was on that. Yeah. So that one was good, but honestly, I don't remember his verse from it. So that that may be true. But yeah, I haven't listened to enough G-Eazy to really agree or disagree. So I'm just gonna drink because, like, why not? Okay, next up. This one comes from my boy Brandon Verastro. We used to work on What You Expect together. Met him during the pandemic. We were, we would write articles and support one another. I met him in Philly at WrestleMania last year. Really good dude. He says, I'm going to fall for it yet again. Clippers versus Lakers Western Conference Finals. It's wild. Here we are 5 years later. 5 years since the Lakers won the NBA Finals. And they've had some rough years since then. 2021, they were a play-in team. They got bounced by the Suns in the first round. 2022, they didn't make the playoffs. 2023, they make it to the Western Conference Finals as a play-in team, and they get swept by the Nuggets. And then last year, they played the Nuggets in the first round after being a play-in team again, and they lose in 5. But this Luka Doncic trade, man, feels good. And the Clippers, who were claiming they were the best team in LA. They had Paul George, they had Kawhi, added James Harden, they had Russell Westbrook for a bit. Zubac has gotten way better. They got Derrick Jones Jr., Chris Dunn. Like, they have a really solid roster. And Kawhi Leonard is looking like that killer Kawhi from like 2019 that ran through the Warriors, even if they were hurt. So all year, Clippers were one of my favorite teams to bet on. And I mean, things are shaky with the Nuggets. They just fired their head coach. The Oklahoma City Thunder are really good, but again, I'm interested in how they're going to do come playoff time when they see some real playoff killers and veterans. So a Lakers-Clippers Western Conference Finals is very possible. So I'm not going to disagree with that. I'll say it can happen. Will it happen? I'm kind of iffy on that. So we'll see about that. Next take comes from my boy Jamal, RNC original, host of The Lookout and a couple different podcasts on the Lookout Network. Shout out to him. I'm glad Jamal and I are good. He used to get at me on Twitter. Granted, I deserved it at the time, but he's a really cool dude. I fuck with Jamal. So shout out to Jamal. He says, Grandma style is greater than a regular slice of pizza. I don't know if I've ever had a grandma style slice of pizza. I probably have and just didn't really think much of it, but I did look it up, and it kind of looks similar to Sicilian, but it's more thin crust. I love thin crust, so I'm gonna roll with that. I'll say grandma style is better than a regular slice. I don't like too much crust. I also don't like when the crust is like too crunchy. So thin crust kind of mitigates that a bit. So I will roll with that. I'll roll with that. Grandma style, greater than a regular slice of pizza. My boy Tariq. Tariq is someone else I met in the pandemic. Randomly, I went out with my homegirl Kiana Condors, and it was her going away party because she moved to LA. And Tariq was there, and we just hit it off immediately. He was a super nice dude. Like, he even like paid for my Uber home that night. Like, I was like, bro, we just met, but true gentleman. Love Reek. So Reek's take is, I do not understand the lore of ranch dressing slash dip. Not good on anything but veggies. I so aggressively, vehemently disagree with this take, brother. I'll be putting ranch on eggs. I'll be putting ranch on pizza. I'll be putting ranch on burgers. I've put ranch on my spaghetti. I love that much. I could probably put it on anything outside of like desserts and really love it. And if you don't get ranch, ranch don't get you. Like that's really just the simple take on it. Like maybe y'all don't get along because you there's something wrong with you, but not with ranch. So I vehemently disagree with that, and I'm going to drink to what's the word I'm looking for? Consummate that take. Okay. Shout out to Rashad. Rashad, legend. Deep in the music game, plaques on plaques. Really enjoyed talking music and wrestling with him. Just a great guy overall. His take, Somebody Loves Me, one of the best songs of the year. That is Drake and Party Next Door's track from Some Sexy Songs for You. I can't disagree, bro. Again, when I experienced it outside, I'm a group of people in my section, drunk off of multiple tequila cocktails, around some beautiful women, hearing the crowd sing it. It quickly and granted, it was a Drake party, it was a Drake night, so yes, most of the crowd would probably react that way. But I honestly believe if you play it out in a normal setting, like people are going to react similarly. And it's crazy. I didn't expect that song to take off the way it did when I first heard it when it was teased in one of Drake's reels promoting the album. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Like it didn't really like grab me like that. And over time it grew on me like very heavily. And then yeah, experience it outside. It's been climbing up the Apple charts. It's like I've said before, not to stay too long on that, but it's definitely a cult hit. One of those like fan favorites that maybe doesn't climb the charts, but climbs into your heart. So I so agree with you, brother. Next up, my guy Jordan. Some of you might know him as Papo. He's a brother of Omega Psi Phi. I believe he went to U Albany. Met him. Honestly, we first connected on Twitter, and we used to disagree on a lot of shit. But I remember he like hit me up one day, and he was like, "Yo, let's hang out." Like we disagree, but I like your takes on stuff. I like the way you do journalism stuff. Let's just meet up and talk music, and we did. And we had wings and we had beer, and it was a great time. He's a really cool dude. We've been cool over the years. He's coming to my birthday events or different events that I've thrown. Really supportive dude, like really, really solid dude. And I don't want to reveal things from his close friend's story because that's like taboo. But we've been on similar journeys in terms of like personal growth. And I'm really proud to see, how he's kind of just progressed mentally, mental health is wealth. His take, Drake is the catalyst for rap being where it is. Rap beef being about sales, lyrics taking a back seat to bars. Okay, all right. So I do believe that Drake has been a disruptor in that he's not the typical archetype for a rapper that, someone like Papa, who's a couple years older than me, grew up on, or even like my dad grew up on. He's not a thug, he's not a gangster, he's never really been in like super violent situations that he raps about. Like he's light skinned, he's sensitive, he sings, like all these different things. he really took that like 50 Cent pop appeal and just took it to a whole different level. And as a result, a lot of people have followed suit. And I think his influence and his success probably has a lot of people who are coming up under him looking at that being like, yo, I don't have to be the standard, mold of a rapper. I can be different and I can thrive in that way. So I'm not going to blame Drake for what Papo believes to be, kind of a negative state of rap, but I do think that, I mean, it's tough. It's tough because I mean, there's Kendricks, there are Coles who are more traditional, and they've been massively successful. Drake is just the most successful of them all. So I think just naturally I'm gonna agree with that. I don't want the state of rap to be negatively attributed to my guy, but I do think that there are things that he's done that other people have tried to do and not do as well. And maybe the essence of hip hop has been lost, but there are like there's the Griseldas, there's the Boldy Jameses, there's still a lot of guys, Freddie Gibbses, there's guys out here. They're not as big. They're not as successful, but like there are guys out here who are doing the traditional rap thing. So rap beef being about sales. I mean, when you got the numbers, you flaunt them. I don't think Drake gets enough credit for the lyricism that he brings to rap beefs. He got Meek out of there without really saying anything crazy. I thought he held his own in the Pusha rap beef, but once Story of Adidon came out, it was over. And I thought he held his own with the Kendrick beef too. Like he really, people give Kendrick the credit for making the hit, which is what you would expect Drake to do. But Drake really approached this from like, nah, I'm about to bar your ass up, and I'm about to bar up the other niggas. So like, I do give him credit for that. Again, I'm not going to say he won the battle. There's one group chat I'm in where my boy says Drake won the beef because he rapped better, and I'm like, well, it's not just about rapping better, and that's the other criteria is like, there's no universal acceptance of what like who wins a rap beef and how they win it. So I think in terms of narrative, in terms of like overall criteria and assessment, Drake lost, but I do think he deserves a lot of credit for the way he approached it. Lyrics taking a backseat to bars. I think this is a really important distinction here. Bars to me are like punchlines. So like set up, punchline, set up, punchline. And I think there are a lot of rappers who kind of just want bars as opposed to lyricism. Lyricism is very versatile. It's storytelling. It's syntax. It's word choice. It's metaphors and similes which kind of play into bars. But it's not just like there's one issue I have with Drake as a rapper, and I don't know if I've ever said this, so I think people will like it. There are like some bars in his songs, like he'll go crazy. But then there's always that like one bar where it's either like kind of just like super corny, like you toying with it like Happy Meal or It's Raining Money, Oklahoma City Thunder. Or you can just tell he kind of took the bar off. Like it's almost like you're playing a basketball game and each possession you're going hard, and then you take one possession off. You don't guard your opponent as hard as you should, and they score. And I mean, sometimes that happens in basketball, but the difference between playing a live basketball game and recording a song and having time, like no one's rushing you to put something out. You could put it out whenever. So it always has bothered me that he has like certain lines that he quote unquote takes off. But I think his love for battle rap, the rappers that he has grown to love. I think Jay-Z, who is a lyricist, is also a bar rapper. Lil Wayne is a bar rapper. Who else has? Cause Drake has like put out his top 5 before. I forget the other guys who were on it. But I think just all those things combined, he is but that doesn't mean he isn't a lyricist either. I do think his lyricism and his storytelling also often gets underrated because of the way it's done. He's very focused on himself. He's never like written a song from the perspective of a cockroach or from a gun like Nas has. But so Papo, I love you, man. Papo is Drake's proudest hater. It's honestly extremely funny. Like he completely stands on it. He's admitted that he liked Nice for What because like women liked it and it was a groovy song and it's not a rap song. But like you talk to Papo, you hear him talk about Drake, and I think some of the way crazier stands than me would probably like just never want to talk to the guy again, probably block him. But I genuinely get a lot. Like he's a funny Drake hater. If you're funny about it, I fuck with you. A lot of people are not funny about it. They're performative. They take things a little too far. But Papo is just genuinely really funny. And I also get where he's coming from. He's older. The rappers that he likes, he's a huge Pusha T fan. Like, so I get why he likes what he likes, and he doesn't like Drake. So I disagree, but that's my guy. I can't wait till we talk again soon. Next up, my boy Viz, hashtag all greens. Viz is another guy in our RNC Discord. His question: what's your go-to pizza place and order? I'm not gonna go with like no mainstream fast food spot. What's my go-to pizza spot and order? I mean, I go to a spot around the corner from my office a lot. It's called Upside Down Pizza. They got a really good pepperoni Sicilian slice. They got a good sausage and pepper slice, a really good spicy vodka slice. So that would be one. Shout out to Cornell, my university. College Town Pizza, man. I love me some College Town Pizza. That, or when you would go out on like a Wednesday to Fish Bowls, or a Thursday to those random frat houses, and you go get that College Town Pizza. They had a really good chicken bacon ranch slice, a good buffalo chicken slice. So, yeah, I'd say Upside Down Pizza, which is in like the Midtown area by Bryant Park, and then College Town Pizza. I don't know if it's still up there. I haven't been up to Ithaca in years, so I don't know if it's still open, but yeah. Shout out to my guy Swank, Syracuse alum, great DJ. Make sure I follow him at BK Swank. Check out his mixes. He asked me, what are the criteria for a record to be Song of the Summer? This is a good conversation because I brought it up last year. It was maybe like April, and $1 Million Baby was out. And everyone's like, yo, this is Song of the Summer already. I'm like, damn, like, are we really picking this in April? Like, summer not here yet? We haven't seen the way this song impacted the summer. It was hot for maybe like a week or two at that point. And I think it hit number 2 at some point on the Billboard Hot 100. It was also in the middle of like the beef really taking off. And then it kind of went away. And then he put out Devil Is a Lie. That one didn't do shit. He just put out another song where it sounded like he was sampling Soulja Boy. And everyone's like, oh shit, Tommy Richmond did it again. Where's that song at? I don't even know what it's called. It's called like Acting Up. Where is it? So what's my criteria for Song of the Summer? When you are out at a party in the summer and a certain song comes on and it feels like time stops and everyone is looking around, hugs, phones are coming out. It feels like every single person in that room, in that venue, they're all dancing and singing along to that one song. And I know that's kind of like subjective, but like you get it. Like, go back to Work Controlla One Dance 2016. Songs of the Summer. Go to 2018, Cardi B with this was summer 17, Cardi B with Bodak Yellow, Song of the Summer. 2018, Drake and My Feelings, Travis Scott, Drake Sicko Mode, even fucking Sheck West Mo Bamba. When everyone stops what they're doing to do the dance that aligns with the song or to sing the song, when you hear it on every single Instagram story all the time, summer 2021, Essence. 2022, I believe, with that, I think that was last summer. 2023 was Taliban's last summer. Unfortunately, it was Not Like Us. Like, it's just like certain songs when they just like when they consume everyone, when everyone stops what they're doing. And so that's why I'm like, how can you pick the song of the summer in April? We're not at the day parties. We're not at everyday people's. We're not, at different day parties. We're not at brunch. Like, for me, you don't really know what the song of the summer is until July, like mid to late July, August. Like, that's it. So people got to be patient. I get it's exciting to, put your stamp on something early. There are songs that have the song of the summer ilk to them, but they ultimately have to impact what's happening outdoors. Like, they have to, like, it's just too much. Like, it's certain songs that get thrown out. Like last summer, for example, Love Fisher, Cash Cobain, Ice Spice, Love Fisher. There were people in Detroit, people all over who knew the song. But compare Fisher to Not Like Us. Like, it's, would I have liked Fisher to probably be the one over? Yeah, probably. But like, it's just, it has to really be impactful and take over the entire country. That's why when Capella Gray had Gallus, which again did get some reach to, across the country. He did a remix with I think Chris Brown and Ty Dolla $ign, I think, was on it. I forget who was on it. It was like, okay, this is a valid there's a valid claim to this, but nothing was bigger than Essence. Nothing was bigger than Essence. So yeah, that's my criteria for it. Like, there's no like something to do with charts, nothing to do with like metrics. It's just like the feeling of being outside, talking to a girl, and the song plays and she runs to her friends, or she takes her phone out to take a selfie video of both of you singing it. Like, that's a real, song of the summer impact. Swank again, coming back with 2 questions. What is the one collaboration between hip hop and R&B you would like to see in 2025? It's a really good question. I want to go with obviously I want to go with a collab that's never happened before, but I don't want to go with like the biggest names. So I'm gonna say, I'll go Naomi Sharon. I want to see her work with a rapper. I think that she could really kill some shit. Like, do one of those like Yeba, Yeba, Charlotte Day Wilson type of like vocal loop type things, but actually be on the song. So I think Naomi Sharon on the hook and doing the backing vocals. And then in terms of rapper, I want like a smooth, like, a rapper. Naomi Sharon and Wale. And I know I said I didn't want to do like big names, but one thing I love about Wale is he really invests in artists that are coming up. He's never ran away from working with, people who are new and hot. There's no ego with him in that regard. And a lot of people have been talking about it on social media too. It's like, damn, why don't we get more Drake and Wale collabs? And, things happen for whatever reason. But I do think that Wale and Naomi Sharon could put together something fire. So I'm gonna go with that. My boy Sid Jones, another Discord member, another UUTL member, my guy, professional football player down in Beaumont, Texas right now, doing his thing. You guys have probably seen me post things he's made about me to make fun of me on my Instagram story, but I'm a good sport. He asked, who do I think is gonna have the hit song for the summer? Now, let me not be like the people that I critiqued and say Nokia is the song of the summer right now. I think it is going to last up to and through the summer. I do think maybe around like June, people are going to be at a point where they're going to be tired of it or say they're tired of it, but then when it comes on when they're outside, they're going to be rocking out to it. So who do I don't know who's going to have the hit song this summer, man. I mean, Afrobeats was holding it down for a while. I don't know. I do think Drake is gonna have more music coming with Wireless Fest coming up. Um, will the songs he drops have the same impact? I think it's a matter of, the route he goes. Um, yeah, I don't know. Because I don't think we predicted that Byron Messiah would have one of the biggest songs of summer 2023. I don't think we expected WizKid and Essence to take over the way it did. Shit, Thames Free Mind, which came out in like 2020, had a run in summer 2022. So it's a very unpredictable thing, but as history has shown, um, rappers with the pop appeal and Afrobeats artists typically kind of take over in that way. So I think I'll be one of them. Um, Ryan Shepard, my guy, fellow writer, been supportive for so many years. So shout out to him. Patreon subscriber too. He asked me, what do I think drops first? Drake's album or The Fall Off by J. Cole? I thought The Fall Off would have been out right by now. Dreamville Fest was just like 2 weeks ago. And also, shout out to Dreamville Fest. They said that they were done. They're not done. They're just rebranding. But it was really interesting. Like for the first time in a couple years, there was like nothing like really crazy newsworthy from it. Obviously, last year with like J. Cole apologizing, well, not apologizing, just taking back his diss record. The year before that, Usher headlined, and then J. Cole co-headlined with Drake. But yeah, I thought The Fall Off would have came out to lead into this last Dreamville. It just kind of would have made sense with Cole teasing his last album for so long, and that didn't happen. So I'm really not sure. I think the safe bet would be to say Drake drops first. Drake talked about the album on his stream with Aiden Ross over the weekend. He said it's a slap. Now, Drake is always working on music, so it's really funny when people are like, yo, Drake new album is lit. I'm like, when is Drake not working on new music? He's teased albums, forever. I remember it was when I saw him at the Apollo show in January 2023. That was like 2 months after Her Loss came out. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna just rock out. I'll probably put together another project for you guys. We'll see. And then by June, he's put out the poetry book, and in it he announces For All the Dogs. So like, he never stops working. So like new album announcements from him don't necessarily carry too much weight until he's a legit posting like, all right, here's the date for this, all of that. Like, he's kind of been somewhat unpredictable in that regard. Like predictable, he's like unpredictable within his predictability. Like, he's always working on music, but you don't necessarily know when the album's gonna come. But like he doesn't go long without dropping music. I think again, the only years he's taken off in the last few years were in the last almost decade was 2014, 2019. And he still gave us 2 products in 2019. It wasn't new music. So we'll see about that. Ryan's hot take. Mike Tyson is not a top 10 heavyweight. I admittedly don't watch boxing that much, so I don't really have anything for that. I mean, there are some boxers that I do know. Obviously, I know like a Joe Frazier, George Foreman. Rest in peace to him. I don't really know any of the modern heavyweights. Is Bernard Hopkins a heavyweight? I don't know. So I can't really answer that take. I think people would probably disagree with it. Again, with my limited boxing knowledge, I don't want to sound ignorant, but I'll say I disagree with it. Mike Tyson's a legend, so we'll drink. Okay. David, my guy, new to the team, handling our social media. Shout out to him. David said, Jalen Brunson is a better Nick than Carmelo Anthony. That is that's a hot take depending on who you ask. Jalen has been with the Knicks for a few years now. He has led them fearlessly. He's gotten MVP chance. Granted, he hasn't been an MVP. All-star. I think the Knicks would have been in the conference finals last year if they stayed healthy. And I think that they are a contender, even though there's a gap in that Eastern Conference. There's the Cavs, Celtics, and there's a gap. Then it's the Knicks. Maybe the Pacers are in that tier, and there's another gap. So I think they are someone that you have to take more seriously than ever before. But Melo also, when he was on the Knicks, he had the very unfortunate timing of going there when LeBron was on the Heat, and then LeBron went to the Cavs after that. So there was really no opening for Melo to possibly take the Knicks to the finals. And then by the time, LeBron had went to the West, Melo wasn't even on the Knicks before anymore. He went to the Thunder first, and then went to the Rockets, spent some time with the Blazers, went to the Lakers, I want to say. I think the Lakers were his final stop. So, I mean, you got to kind of have that context, but I think resumes and history people will look back more fondly on Brunson's era than Carmelo Anthony's era. So I don't want to say. I also love Melo too. I listen to 7 p.m. in Brooklyn too. I think he's got a great mind. I think he's matured, a lot. Not that I think it was immature, but just the way he kind of perceives himself and the way he talks about the game and doesn't hate on young guys. It's great. We're still seeing Brunson, develop. He's in his mid-20s. He's better than I think anyone ever expected him to be. And he was really good on the Mavericks, but they only looked at him as a number 2, and now he's number 1 guy on the Knicks, and he's holding it down. So, salute to him for that. But I think just based off of the way history is going to look back on it, I will agree and say Jalen Brunson is a better Knick than Carmelo Anthony. Next up, my boy B West, Englewood guy, known him like crazy, known him damn near my whole life. He played low league baseball with my brother. I was really cool with his sister. And we went to the same boxing gym for a while. B West says, Jey Uso should lose to Gunther. Now they have a World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania 41. There's a lot of people who want to see Jey Uso lose. A lot of people who hate on Jey because he says yeet. There's a lot of people who hate on him. They think he's just an entrance. He's a jokester. He's a caricature of a real wrestler. Some people don't think he's a good wrestler. I have my critiques about his in-ring ability, but for me, it's not even necessarily about that. Not entirely about that. John Cena wasn't the greatest wrestler either. He managed to put on really good matches. Jey Uso does the same thing. His ring psychology and his storytelling. He's a really believable babyface that you can invest in. This will be Jey Uso's 4th time facing Gunther. He lost to him in an Intercontinental Championship match. He lost to him in King of the Ring semifinals. He even lost a World Heavyweight Championship match earlier this year, Saturday night's main event. And so, him winning the Royal Rumble was a huge shock to me, but it made sense. He's one of the most popular superstars in WWE right now. Having him lose 4 times to Gunther, I mean, it would really cement Gunther as that dude that many people believe he is. But I think you just can't not capitalize on that moment of tens of thousands of people in Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas doing that yeet with Jey Uso, the arm wave, and him holding up that title. And it would be really cool if his match goes before the main event, which is Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and as Jey is walking to the back, Roman is walking up, and Roman shows him love, salutes him for the win. So there's just certain things that you really can't pass up on. This is your standard babyface storytelling. You just have that one mountain that you can't climb. You either win the Royal Rumble or you win the Elimination Chamber. You get the opportunity to face them at WrestleMania, and you get crowned. It happened with Daniel Bryan, Cody Rhodes. There's been so many baby faces who had to, climb. I'm sorry. Who had to get out the mud And then they got their moment at WrestleMania. So I very, very aggressively disagree. Jey Uso should not lose to Gunther. Next up, Bry Bosa, another Discord member. Love Bosa. Bosa's hilarious. Absolutely insane. Playing 2K with Bosa will make you hate Bosa, but outside of 2K, just a really genuinely great dude. Great dancer. Great music taste. Bosa's dope. Like, definitely like a youngin that I really fuck with. So yeah. Oh god. Bosa says, you don't need condiments on your food. Ketchup, barbecue, ranch, all that. Do away with it. This is a conversation we've had in our Discord multiple times. We are very, just very thrown off by Bosa having this stance on condiments. I love ketchup. Ask my mom. Ask my close friends. I love ketchup. Ketchup and ranch, I put on anything. Barbecue sauce, I don't use it as much, but on the right things, that shit hits. Hot honey is something I'm fucking with more. I don't put it on everything. I had it on some pizza this past weekend, and it's one of those things. It's like almost unnecessary, but damn if it's not good as hell. That shit is really good. And there's just such a variety of condiments. Like, in an ideal world, yes, the food is good enough to where you don't need to put a sauce on it, but what's wrong with, complementing something that's already good with something else that's good and making it better? Like, I don't know, this crusade against condiments, Bosa, it's really concerning. So vehemently disagree with you. I hope that the Discord hears this so you can get jumped in the Discord again. But otherwise, I fuck with you. So yeah, I drank. Reggie Nacho, Stay Busy alum, co-worker, Need to Know podcast co-host, one of my close friends. Love Reggie to death. Just we laugh together, we vent together. We've known each other for over 10 years now. I remember we've like first connected when she was going up to Syracuse, and I just saw her immediately get there and just start thriving, just doing her thing. And we always kind of had this thing we would say to each other, like, see you at the top. And I don't know if we necessarily are at the top yet, but the way our careers have intertwined and the way our friend groups have intertwined, I'm thankful to her and all her Syracuse friends for embracing me like one of their own, which I am. I went to Syracuse before all of you. Went to Syracuse Summer College 2011. My ID is somewhere in my room. I had a Syracuse email, whatever that like portal is called. It was like the Juice or something. Like I had all that before all y'all. But I thank y'all for continuing to embrace me. Reggie has multiple takes. So Brent Faiyaz can't sing. I mean, that is just kind of, yeah. Like, do I like his music? I don't like it as much as I used to. I started fucking with Brent around like 2016. Shout out to OU for putting me on. And then he dropped what was that album project in Saunderson 2017. And then 2020 when he dropped Fuck the World. That game changer. That was awesome project. Probably my favorite work by him. And it came at a really great time for me. I was just overcoming a breakup. So I needed that music at the time. Since then, what was his 2022 album? I forget the name. I'm gonna look it up. No, it doesn't matter that much. But yeah, I think that's the thing about his music. He's not a great singer. He keeps things really simple. I think his harmonies and his layering help him a lot, but it's kind of just like the mood, the vibe of it, the production, like all of those things really carry. And his voice is, it's not, I don't want to say it's good enough, but it's just like it does enough to make the songs listenable. Again, I don't really listen to him as much as I used to. His 2022 album wasn't that great to me. But yeah, so I'll agree with that. Pineapple on pizza is the best. Reggie, you are just A ball knower. Your knowledge of ball. I guess I don't want to pause that. Like if you know the phrase ball knower, then I shouldn't have to pause that. But for the immature people who don't know that phrase, I'll pause it. Yeah, pineapple on pizza is fantastic. I'm at the point where like I've got like this one combination that I get where it's like pepperoni, pepperoni, beef, pineapple. Sometimes I put bacon on it. That's what I'm feeling. Extra big backed. But pineapple is if it's available, I'm getting it on my pizza. Like undoubtedly, it is just like so fucking good. So Reggie, you went 3 for 3 there. My boy Darian Durain, shouted him out last week. Part of the chat. We got to find a new name for our chat. It had a name, and that name was tied to a person who we are not in a group chat with anymore. So I don't want to refer to it as that. But yeah, he's a fucking troll. I hate him for this. Juan Soto is the face of New York sports and is better than Joe DiMaggio. I know Kieran is in the control room right now laughing as a nasty ass Mets fan. No, not true. Soto's been pretty shitty since this season has began, and I think it just goes to show that the Mets are what I would like to refer to as drainers of aura. Juan Soto in the pinstripes, that boy had aura. He was amazing. It was fun for him, batting around Aaron Judge in that lineup. And now goes to the Mets. He got a carry. You're not built for that, my boy. That's what it's feeling like. So I'm absolutely hating on Juan Soto and everything that he does, and he's not really doing much right now. So it's pretty easy and pretty fun to hate on him. Better than Joe DiMaggio. I mean, that's just not even a serious statement. Neither of us were alive for him, but I think the stats speak for themselves. So I would drink, and Durain, you're a silly dude. All right, finishing up hot takes. My boy Duggar, Brandon Duggar, another Discord member. We've drank together. We've gone to wrestling shows together. He's my guy. There was one day, I'll be vulnerable. There was one day where I was just having a rough time. I texted him, and he was very supportive and loving. Hey, man, nothing wrong with loving your bros and being there for your bros and uplifting your bros. So big salute to Duggar. Nokia is a top 10 Drake hit. Woo, boy. It is early. It's early to say it. If you feel that way, which I believe you do, I'm not going to argue that. I think it is a fantastic song. There's this movement now, which is funny. People are going out of their way to say how bad Nokia is. There wasn't really that energy when the song first came out. Like, it was jokes about, oh, damn, like, Drake can't hit the top 5. Give me a hug. I thought this was the one. I thought this was the hit. Damn, Nokia, this the hit. It's only number 10. And now that we're seeing it climbing the charts, everyone's like, yo, y'all really like this song? Like, really? This shit sucks. I'm like, oh, okay, got it. Y'all didn't believe at first, so y'all ain't say nothing. And now that your preconceived notions or your thoughts about the song are being proven untrue, now you're trying to start this public movement to take the song down. So very, very sad for you. Drake hits, man, that's tough. Duggar, that's a really tough one because is this charts? Is it number ones? Is it top 5s? Is it top 10s? Or is it like hits within the culture? Because like, look, man, to me, Passion Fruit is a hit. Like, that's a hit to me. It's a hit in the streets. It's a hit at brunches. It's a hit among the people. Courtney's nodding his head. He knows Passion Fruit is a hit. So, do I like Nokia more than Passion Fruit? I can't say that right now. Passion Fruit is also one of my favorite Drake songs ever. So it's just a high bar. It's tough to hit. Passion Fruit is one. Best I ever had, man. Like just a breakthrough Drake record. I remember I listened back to it recently, and I was like, because them songs that play on the radio a lot, you hear all the time, they start to like get annoying to you to the point where you maybe don't acknowledge how good they are. And being several years removed from Best I Ever Had's prime, I was like, oh, this is actually a really fucking good song. Like from the production to the flows to, the half rap, half sing that Drake has really, strengthened over the years. Like I would have to put Best I Ever Had top 10 on this list just for one, its quality and also its impact. I've never made a top 10 list just based off his hits, so this is a good exercise that you've had me you're having me do, Duggar. Controller, man. Its impact, its being that Jamaican Drake era. I think that's the like the quintessential Jamaican Drake song, and it's just anytime people bring up the year 2016, that's one of the first songs or one of the first things. And there was an election that year. LeBron overcame a 3-1 deficit in the NBA Finals that year. What else happened in 2016? Some people graduated, some people had kids. Kimbo Slice died that year, I believe. Somebody else died in 2016. Was that when Prince died? I don't want to be ignorant. Let me look. I want to say Prince died 2016. Prince 2016. Yeah. So yeah, there was so many things that happened, but one of the first things people say when they talk about 2016 is Controller. And it's also just a really great song. So I'm not going to go through my entire top 10, but I will say, based off of the impact Nokia is having, it's one of the most. It's the song that has consumed the people by Drake the most in like a really long time. Like he's had hits, he's had big songs over the years, but the way this one has grabbed the people, it's trending towards it's on that trajectory. I think that it can get there. But if it's in your top 10 right now, I'm not gonna argue you down. I love it. I really love that record, so I'm not mad at that. My homegirl Brianna Duarte. So if for wrestling fans, whether you're on TikTok or Instagram or anything, she is the infamous LA Night girl. Like when LA Knight's meet and greets, she's the one taking pics with him crying. He's always reposting her. She be wearing LA Knight theme fits, and she's a really nice girl, super supportive of me. So I appreciate that. And so her take, unsurprisingly, LA Knight is the greatest WWE superstar of all time. Hey, look, Bree, you love him. I really like LA too. I was happy to see him win the US title. I think that he's improved a lot, but if we that greatest superstar of all time stuff, it's just a little crazy. It's a little crazy. I disagree. So I'm gonna drink. All right, I'm gonna reset this phone real quick just in case I got some new responses. I don't think I did, but oh yeah, I got quite a few. Oh shit. All right. Here we go. For my boy Cairo, LA guy, awesome dude. I met him for the first time when I went out to LA, April 2022. We're in our group chat now with all the guys. The guys know who they are. And I saw Cairo when he came to New York, I want to say 2023. And then when I went to LA earlier this year, I got to see him then too. So Cairo's my guy. Love Cairo. Cole is the conscious rapper everyone thinks K-Dot is. I think the whole conscious label, it is like overstated to the point where it's almost pejorative. And some people, when they say it, they mean boring. Now, I do understand what it means foundationally in terms of the content you speak about, the world, socioeconomic, sociopolitical stuff, substance. I do think that both rappers have spoken about things that mean something to a lot of people, things that matter. I don't necessarily compare their consciousness because both of them have also been very indulgent, very hedonistic in various ways, misogynistic, and not that those things can't exist, but it's like, how do you really measure, consciousness? I think Cole does a great job of speaking about the world and also himself, and I think Kendrick spent so much time really got big as an artist speaking about the world, and now he's really, been confronting himself over his last couple albums. And I think that connects to people and matters to people too. So it's really hard to measure consciousness. I know in terms of listening, I would rather listen to J. Cole than K. Dot. Um, but Cole himself has told us, I don't really read books like that. I'm not that smart. um, I think Kendrick has been trying to um humanize himself among people over the years while also standing on a high horse. So I can't measure their consciousness. I do think that J. Cole is a bit more consistent in his narratives. I'll say that. So I guess that's maybe me agreeing, but just using a different word for it. Um, my boy Mamas, just an incredible dude. Met him several years ago. One of the most supportive guys ever. All literally like funny, knowledgeable. I don't know anyone who doesn't like Mamas. And honestly, if you do have an issue with Mamas, then it's probably like you're probably the problem. He has a few takes for me. Music quality is in a better space than people want to admit. I mean, I've been on this pod saying for over a year, music is in a bad spot, so I gotta disagree with that. I lose hope very often. I do think that there are talented people I like. There's a lot of artists I like and listen to, um, that aren't necessarily the biggest, but in terms of what's pushed, in terms of what's promoted, like even the Rob 49 song we talked about a couple weeks ago, what the helly. I do think it's cool. I think it's fun. I do like the lingo of it, but I said it in my group chat with the guys earlier. The lines between actual good music and catchy music with gimmicks, it's blurred. Like it's blurred, way too much. So the fact that a song like that has motion, it's fun. Like I'm not gonna sit here and turn my nose up at it, but it's like for every what the helly, where's something that is like maybe like more like meaningful. Like think about like Young Thug has a song, like the song "We Ball" with Meek. He had another song with Lil Baby from a couple years ago where he just so stupid. I'm pissed. I'm forgetting the. Oh, We Should. Oh my God, We Should. Where it's a commercial song. It's mainstream, but he's rapping things that mean something to him. And it wasn't even necessarily a hit, but it was like a really popular song of that year. So I think that we just don't necessarily have enough people who are making quality commercial songs that are also meaningful. Like when we look back on What the Helly in 2027, it's gonna be like, like I'm turning 30 in like 2 months. I'll be 32 or turning 32 by then. And I don't think I'm one of them old niggas who looks down on, who looks down on like younger people music and lingo and all that. Like I don't want to be that guy. But I will be like, yo, what the hell are we doing? Like, again, it's funny, it's cool, but I just think we could use popular music that matters. And that's a matter of the artists themselves, the labels pushing that, and fans wanting to consume that. Those three things all have to work in tandem, and we don't necessarily have that right now. So I unfortunately have to disagree with that, Mamas. But I love that you're so optimistic. Don Julio is overrated. I mean, I don't necessarily rate it. I don't dislike it. I drink it. I don't like obsess over it or love it. I think that's just the tequila of the moment. We had Casamigos in 2020. We had Terramana in 2021. I don't remember what the tequila was of the last couple years, but it's Don Julio right now. That's the pizza. I mean, pizza. That's the tequila of the moment. And I mean, I drink it when I'm out, so I don't. I'm not gonna hate on it. Mamas again. Oxtail don't belong on pizza. Hey man, I went to a Def Jam event, not Def Jam, Rock Nation event, and they had cuts and slices catered. Well, two things Rock Nation always gonna have is a bunch of Douce and some goddamn cuts and slices, and that shit was bussin'. I know, the Caribbeans. I know oxtail is super expensive. Y'all be spending a lot for it. There might be an oxtail shortage in the world, recession indicator, all that jazz. I am not going to, I'm not going to make light of that. But I will say, I had oxtail and pizza, and that shit banged. So, mamas, I disagree with you, my brother. Mamas, last time. The Knicks might get spanked by Detroit in the playoffs. Hey, man. Detroit's really good. They are a really solid team. Cade Cunningham is fantastic. Malik Beasley off the bench cooking. I talked about it with Arden and Carl, so I'm not going to get too deep into it. Spanked? I don't know. I do think that this series could go 7. And I do think that I don't think the Knicks are taking the Pistons lightly. I do think a lot of Knicks fans are frustrated at how it seems like people are kind of favoring the Pistons over the Knicks. I saw one sports media guy who a lot of people kind of just, he's at that point of dislike where anything he says people are pissed off at. He said that the Knicks will never have the best player on the floor in a series with the Pistons because the Pistons have Cade Cunningham. It's a little crazy. I cannot agree with that. I cannot agree with that at all. And I also think, and granted, the Pistons do have guys with experience, Malik Beasley, Tobias Harris, and they have talent. They have a lot of talent. They're one of those young teams that you really can't sleep on, kind of like an Oklahoma City Thunder when, KD, Russ, and Harden first got into the league, and they found themselves in multiple Western Conference finals. They made a finals one year. It's one of those teams you cannot sleep on them. So, but spanked, I don't know. I think it's going 7, and I do ultimately think that the Knicks will be able to pull it out. So, I'm gonna disagree with that, but I will say, be wary. My boy Nate, shout him out, group chat guy. Everyone's current gripe with the lack of quality in music is because the labels don't run the show. I do think, I think that the labels run it in terms of the marketing of things, the push and the promotion of things. But there's not enough development. Well, we've said that on this pod for years at this point. I think everyone kind of agrees with that. Labels are kind of picking up people and already wanting them to be finished products. There are certain situations where people sign somewhere and, labels keep it low until they feel like the person is ready, and they announce, oh, we signed this guy and here's this new song and all that. Some of that does happen. Literally in my office a couple weeks ago, a certain rapper was there who people already know about. He's been involved in some things. Upcoming rapper, but he was talking about, I have this big feature, but the label doesn't want me to come out with it, because I haven't even announced that I'm signed yet. So they don't want me to come to announce my signing and they come with this big feature and just kind of make it seem like I didn't work for it. So we're holding on to that song. So, labels are still kind of trying to operate in that way, but I think ultimately we need development of artists. Shit. It's not enough to just participate. It's not enough to just have something popping on TikTok and then you take an artist and you Jello, who I talked about was it last week. I get it. You want to cash in, but I don't think that is going to bring Def Jam the return on investment that they're looking for. It was very much so a for the moment thing. So Nate, completely agree, bro. Completely agree. All right, let's see. I think I got through all these, so let's go to the very last one, Manny Disla, my guy, Black Announce Table. He was we'd be outside together a lot. Summer 2023, we go out a lot together, concerts and shit. He asked me, "How's life going, pal?" Thank you so much for asking that, Manny. I had a really good day today. Woke up feeling good. 3-day work week. I'm going to LA on Thursday. Had a really good lunch. Went to Kava for the first time in a while. I love Kava. Another interview I have coming this week. I talked to Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, WWE Hall of Famer. That was awesome. It was short, but just very surreal. I don't get nervous often, and I don't fan out often. I did both of those things, but I also held it down and did a really good interview. What else happened? Yeah, had Kava, interviewed Shawn Michaels. Found out about another potential trip I might be taking. I just feel good, you know. That anticipation towards a trip. I haven't traveled since January. It always feels good, and I know I'm going to be in LA with my people. So that's exciting. WrestleMania is this week, which is super exciting. So life's going great, Manny. Thank you so much for asking. Also, in my online college franchise, I originally was coaching USC, and I was doing terribly. So I got fired from USC, and the only team that offered me a job was Navy. And I was like, I'm gonna come in and make the best of it. Started the season 0-3, then I won 3 straight. And then I lost a game to someone who was coaching Notre Dame, but I only lost by 10, and his team was really good. So only losing by 10 made me feel good. And then I came back and I beat East Michigan 20-10. So 4-4 record right now. I'm pretty confident I can win out the rest of the season and get a job offer to go to a really good team. But who knows? Maybe I might stick with Navy. I don't know. I really feel connected to those guys. Like I've really got them figured out. And yeah, I feel like I could maybe build them into a team that can compete. So yeah, all that to say, I'm good, man. Can't complain. So thank you all for hot takes. We will bring that segment back very, very soon. But thank you all for participating and submitting. Love you guys and love your engagement with the show. I'm gonna check the tweet one more time, see if anyone else sent any hot takes. No, they did not. Okay, no big deal. Thank you for tuning into another episode. This one was for you all, for all the listeners. So thank you to everyone who submitted hot takes or questions. Next week, we will not have a traditional episode. We may have some bonus content for you, but I am going to go and enjoy LA. I told y'all we're done with seasons, so I'm gonna be here. I'm not gonna be here every single week, but I'm gonna be here a lot more often than I have been in the past. But this is one of those weeks where I gotta go. I gotta just get out of New York, New Jersey for a little bit, go see my people, and yeah. But so until we are back together in a more traditional sense, I want you all to subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Patreon, patreon.com/staybusypod, subscribe on all listening platforms, tell a friend, leave comments on everything, likes, rates, all that good stuff. Follow us again at Stay Busy Pod on all social media. Follow me at Armon Sadler, but most importantly, make sure that you stay safe, stay humble, stay busy.